Well, Florida Relays, I remember going to the meet back in high school probably about 15 years ago, and it was always a big meet, but it's kind of turned into I'd probably say one of the top 3 largest meets in the country now, just because it's become a bit of a destination for a lot of teams on spring break or a lot of teams looking to go to a fast competition. We're going to see a lot of SEC, ACC talent. We're going to see Pac-12 schools there. I think Oregon's going to be there this year. You know, teams that win national titles are going to be there. So for us, we're not taking a full squad. We take the athletes that qualify in those individual events, those elite events, and we're going to put them in a situation where hopefully they can get a regional qualifying mark. Some of the athletes already have that mark, but kind of looking at some of the individual events they're qualified in. Chris Sullivan's in the javelin. We're still kind of up in the air if he's going to throw it with the decathlon coming up in about a week and a half. We'll try to figure out if he's going to do that. But he's in the invite high jump. I think the bar's going to open at about 2 meters, 202. You know, if he clears 2 or 3 heights there, he'll have maybe a 212, 215 jump, which would push him up there way high in the country. And you know, we kind of talked about what it would take to get to nationals in the men's high jump from regionals, and it takes about 212, 213 clearance at the regional meet. So hopefully he can get a chance to take a couple attempts at that bar. Christian Williams is in the open high jump this weekend. He's jumped 205, which is a great PR for him this season. If he can get that 210, 211 range as well, he'll be at regionals. And he's going to get a chance to do that this weekend. We've put a lot of emphasis on high jump this weekend for him, making sure that he feels bouncy, feels light, his approach feels good. Clarissa Cutliff, you know, she's in the invite high jump. Last year, I believe she was in the open high jump and she won the meet. This year, she's going to be in the invite high jump. It's going to be much stiffer competition, but she's going to have an opportunity to jump with the same group of young women that are going to be at regionals and nationals, and some of the women she jumped with at indoor nationals. Tiffany Hernandez is in the javelin. She'll have a chance to push her school record a little bit more and push herself up the regional rankings list. Terissa Russell's in a lot of events. She's in the hammer, the open hammer, the open discus, and the open shot put. She's going to get a chance to, you know, to increase hopefully her discus a little bit. But a big thing we talked about this meet was getting comfortable with the shot put again and trying to push a hammer mark that'll get her to regional. She needs about 56.50. She threw 53.81, you know, to open the season, and she's had a couple throws there at the meets where they were about to be big, and we just lost like a little something there. Just a little technical thing kind of didn't go our way, so she's been putting a lot of work into that, and I feel really confident that she can do some damage in that this week. And she's going to have 3 different events to do, so she's going to be very busy. Who else? Gabby Rains is in the invite discus. She's going to be throwing with a stacked field of discus throwers. She's emailed me this morning. She's ranked 3rd in the world for under 20s right now, so I know she wants to push that up a little bit, which I don't know how much higher you can go from there. But you know, she has her school record now, and she has that under 20 Canadian record, so I know she wants to keep pushing that higher. And I think it's probably going to take about 54 meters to get into the top flight for regional, so I think it's important that she pushes that. So going into that competition, she'll know exactly what she has to throw to get to nationals, and I always think that pushing to that last flight is very important. Shanika Desane is in the 800. She's going to get an opportunity to run a very fast time. Yeah, some of these competitions early season, they'll kind of control the pace. This meet, people are trying to run some great times. So she'll get a chance to be in a race where she can actually push the limits of herself and try and get a big time there. Jamal Dorvilliers ran 400 hurdles for the first time last week at UM, did very well. And he qualified for this meet. Chris Profit qualified. I mean, these are 2 guys that could go sub 53, maybe sub 52.5 in the 400 hurdles, which will push them in the top 3 of the conference and be very close to giving them a regional qualifying time. Jovana Ilic is in the triple jump. She had some very good jumps the first meet in the triple. Last week she long jumped and wasn't feeling 100%, but she's excited to get out there in a good competition. And she's going to be jumping a lot against some of the best triple jumpers in the country. I'm trying to think, hopefully I didn't leave anybody out there. Ken Floratellis is going to be in the open women's high jump. I think that this is going to be a chance for her to push to that 175 range, which would get her to regionals. She's been looking phenomenal. She's getting very consistent over 170, which is what she kind of struggled with last year. She, I think, hit 170 at the first meet last year indoors, and then kind of dealt with like the typical freshman year of trying to get consistent, but now she's turning into that model of consistency, and if she can push herself above 170 and 175 and more, you know, we're going to be having another jumper that's going to have a shot to go big. Alan Wiggins qualified in the shot put. He's a little banged up right now, but we're hoping he can go out there and just compete. He's going to be throwing against the big boys. Alan's not the biggest guy, but he's got speed and he's got pop, and if he can use his the tools that he has at his disposal, he should do very well. But I just think across the board, this is one of the biggest groups we've ever qualified for Florida Relays on an individual level. We've always had to go and do our relays, 4x2s, 4x shuttle hurdles, 4x1, 4x4, and this year we decided to just focus on those individual kids and try to get those regional qualifiers. And our men's 4x4 is going to get a chance to run as well with Todd Jackson doing the Open 400 and Shaman Williams in the Open 400. Those are two men that might push sub 48s this weekend, run 47 something. Which they put those legs on the relay would be great. And right now, we kind of have a relay pool of Shaman Williams, Todd Jackson, Eric Jones sometimes, Akeem Simmons occasionally gets in there, Wilkerson Murtiel, Pablo Espitia ran an amazing time last week, 49.2. And again, Pablo and Sullivan, we're just trying to make sure that their bodies feel good for the decathlon next week, and that they're going to be doing it at So we're trying to not push them too much this week. We just try to have them do more of those finesse events and not so much the heavy hitters like the javelin or a big jump. It's a high jump, and Pablo runs a leg on a 4x4. We should do pretty well, and Jamal de Villiers is somebody that can run that 4x4 as well. So I would love it if we can go sub 310 this weekend in the 4x4. They're going to get an opportunity to. They get on that track and they run in front of thousands of fans out there. And do well, then there's a chance they could hit that time. If they go sub 310, then they might qualify for regionals. But I think the biggest thing with Florida Relays always is you get to showcase your talent to the whole entire state of Florida, some of Georgia, some of Alabama, and a lot of those high school kids get to see what you have. And we wanted to go out there with a great group of kids. And if they can go out there and execute and perform, then a lot of people around the state and teams around the country, college-wise, they're going to see what we have down here. And we know what we have, and we just need to put it out there so everyone else can see. We had a few good things happen. Jada Roberson opened up. She ran, I think, 24:57, which I think is her best time she's run outdoors so far here at FIU. So she should go much faster, which was nice to see her open up that fast. Sydney Wilkerson, 2 went sub 25. Terissa Russell had a huge PR in the discus. She went 50:06. In addition, Gabby, didn't quite hit the 53 she hit the week before. We had a hard week of training, but she still hit 51:15, competed against, University of Miami, University of Florida, some good competition there. I think Virginia was there as well, so solid throwing schools. We have 2 women over 50 meters right now in the discus. They'll both be at regionals, which is exciting. In the javelin, Tiffany Hernandez, she broke the school record. She's been gunning for it for a few years. And it was a personal best for her too. She'd thrown, some decent throws in Canada in the years past when she would go home, but I think she hit 46.84, and I think she's about 15th or 20th in the region and second in the conference. So she should stay there and keep improving. And this weekend at Florida Relays, she always tells me, Coach, I'm cursed when I go up there, but just with the way training's going, the way she threw last week, I think that she's going to continue to throw far. And then probably that last UM meet, we'll probably take a little break from the javelin, but. Across the board, I think we had a really good meet. Chris Sullivan had a big personal best there in the long jump. He jumped 7:20. He had a personal best in the shot put. He threw 13:49. He didn't get a chance to run the 100. They all kind of collided there at one time, so he had to choose there. And our technical field events, we put a priority on that one for him. Just looking at what he can kind of do for a decathlon, we're just going to try and keep putting events together and see if he can get a score in 2 weeks here where he can maybe, qualify for nationals. It's going to take about 73, maybe 7,400 points, and we think he can do that. This weekend he got invited for Florida Relays to the invite high jump, so maybe he can push a 215 out there, which would get him, he should go to regionals now with 210, but if he can get 215, then he's got a shot to eventually go in the open high jump. But overall, across the board, I think we had a really good meet. Again, it's always tough in outdoors when you have those one-day meets because you're trying to fit a lot of events there into one day. So the day was very long for some athletes. We didn't run a 4x4 at the end of the meet because the athlete's been out there for a long time. So as the weeks go on here, we're looking forward to kind of putting some pretty good events together there and just really letting everybody just get a chance to run. I think this weekend at Florida Relays and the following week at University of Miami, and then 2 weeks after that, USF is going to be really where we're going to try and drop those really big times. I actually, she won Conference Athlete of the Week this year. It's funny I didn't bring her up, but she hasn't, and this is just a testament to kind of what we're trying to do. She hasn't been feeling 100% at these meets, and we're doing that on purpose. We're trying to put her in a situation where she doesn't feel great, she doesn't feel the best, and she's still going out and jumping 180, and that's what it's going to take for her to get to outdoor nationals at the regional championship. She's going to have to jump 180. and she's going out and jumping 180 at the first 2 meets on her first or second jump. She's just getting consistent at it, which, you know, like we talked about, indoors you got to jump big, and you got to jump big early, or whenever. You need to jump high, and honestly for indoors it's better if you jump early, or jump big early, so that you can have a chance to train up to nationals. And it was great what she did indoors. She jumped 185 the first meet. With outdoor season, that's set up a little bit differently, since they have to qualify for regionals, which she has. 180 is going to be one of the top 5 marks in the region the whole year. But then at regionals, you have to place in the top 12, and it's going to take her to clear 179 or 180, potentially 181, depending on how the bar progresses in the competition. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit lower this year, just based off of what the East region's done so far and what it did indoors. But if she's able to be consistent jumping 180 every meet, and we know if she feels great or she feels terrible, she can do that, then she's going to give herself another opportunity to win a national title outdoors with you know, qualifying through regionals. But the good thing now is that with the regional championships, unlike indoor nationals where it's so hard to qualify people, I feel like our team is doing a really good job of hitting those marks to get to that meet, and it's going to help her, I think, take some of that pressure off herself, because hopefully she's going to be there with 10 other teammates.